What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is AkeemHaynes. I'm a two-time Olympian, Olympic bronze medalist, author, motivational speaker, and sports commentator. On my channel, we talk boxing, MMA, track and field, and of course, motivation and encouraging content. If this is something that you enjoy, then I hope that you subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get into the video. Gervonta Davis versus Hector Garcia. This is the main event that's happening this weekend, right? There's been a lot of things happening on the outside that could have derailed this fight, now make it happen. But from what we've seen, the fight is a go. So you know how we do it, man. Let's get into it. Let's break it down. Let's start with Gervonta Davis. Tank is coming at this one with a record of 27 wins, no losses, 25 wins by way of knockout. There's only been 2 fights in his career that he hasn't won by stoppage. That was against Isaac Cruz. Now, when he fought the second half of that fight, he was only throwing one hand. He had an injury that stopped him from throwing the other hand. Right. The other one before that was going back to, I think, 2014, if my memory serves me correctly, when he won by unanimous decision against Germain Maraz, I think it was. I could be wrong on that one. But apart from that, everyone he stepped in the ring with, he's won by stoppage. And he's been in there with some quality boxers, such as Jose Pedraza, Euricus Gamboa, Leo Santa Cruz, Mario Barrios, Isaac Cruz, and of course, his recent fight, Rolando Romero. Contrary to what a lot of people may think, I think Tank has a pretty good resume. And in my opinion, I think Tank is one of the most versatile boxers in the sport today, right? He gets a lot of attention because of his power. Obviously, 25 knockouts, that is going to bring you that attention. But I think he's more than that. I think he's more than just his power. He's a very sound technical boxer, and his technique has to be sound because he's fighting guys who have a reach advantage over him and a height advantage over him. So he has to be very tactical with his approach, precise with his timing, and pinpoint accuracy, because when you fight the top guys, they all have that, that extra ingredient in their mix, which makes them a lot harder to get hit because they're more skillful. In his fight against Rolly was the aggressor in that fight, right? He was taking the fight to Tank. He had Tank backing up, moving around the ring. Tank, you can definitely tell, respected the power of Rolly. Rolly was using the jab, which is good for Rolly. I think that is when he's at his best because, Rolly is a power puncher, right? And all he throws is heavy shots, but he was using the jab a lot more in this fight. He couldn't just come at Tank the same, but he did catch Tank with some hard right hand shots because of how he went into that fight, being more tactical and strategic rather than just being aggressive and imposing your will. But however, in that fight, Tank's counter-punching ability was also on display. Whenever Rolly was overly aggressive, Tank made him pay. Whenever Rolly really sat down on his punches and didn't cover up, Tank made him pay with a counter right hand or a pull back and shoot the straight right hand down the middle. There was a sequence when Rolly threw his right hand. Tank quickly stepped aside and threw an uppercut that barely missed Rolly's chin. If you go back and watch, you could even see Tank make a face that says, "Woo, that was close," right? Then you fast forward to the knockout. It was the same thing, that same similar sequence that he threw the uppercut, except it wasn't an uppercut, it was a counter hook, and that was the shot that took Rolly out. But Tank set that one up from rounds before. He's a lot smarter than I think he gets credit for. He's a smart cat in the ring and makes very good adjustments. However, Tank isn't always the fastest starter. There has been fights that many people thought Tank was losing the fight prior towards him knocking them out. He doesn't throw a whole lot in the round. He's not a volume guy that I would say, right? He's not going to throw a lot of shots. He makes his shots count when he does throw. But an aggressive fighter is perfect for Tank's style because he'll be able to walk them into a big shot or they'll walk into it themselves and he'll catch them. When he fought Isaac Cruz, who is an aggressive come-forward style fighter, I thought he would have stopped Cruz if he had both of his hands because Cruz was just walking into some shots, but Tank couldn't fully capitalize on it. But in that fight as well, Cruz did catch Tank with a shot that wobbled him a little bit. Now, against Mario Barrios, Barrios used his length to his advantage, right? Used his jabs, looping shots. I thought he had a good game plan coming in because he was fighting very well. He had success when he was using the jab, following it through with the straight hand. Nice, simple 1-2 combination, but he was having success. But then Tank made some adjustments, and he started to get more confident and started to walk Barrios down. And we remember the body shot that took him down. But I think Garcia can have some of that same success, right? His chin will be tested in this fight. But if he can keep this fight at a distance and not forget to use his jab and follow it up with not just one shot, but a couple flurries of responsible shots and be very defensively responsible with his movement, could make this an interesting finish because Garcia catches a second win in the second half of the fight going the championship rounds. But let's talk about him. Let's talk about the 2016 Olympian Hector Garcia, who had quite a breakout year last year. He not only beat one of the up-and-coming favorites in Chris Colbert, but he beat Roger Gutierrez for the WBA super featherweight title. He's coming to this one with a record of 16 wins, no losses, 3 no contests, and 10 wins by way of knockout. His 2 biggest wins came last year, as I said, against Roger Gutierrez and Chris Colbert. So he has some good momentum coming into this fight, but he's in the peak form and shape right now, and that's what you want when you're fighting a caliber boxer like Tank. Garcia has good pop in his shots. He's accurate, picks his spots very well, and he hits you with different angles, right? Sometimes they're looping shots. Sometimes it's a flurry of jabs mixed with hooks. He slips in the uppercuts from different angles and range, and he goes to the body quite a bit. He doesn't neglect the body, so he has a variety of shots. I think he does a lot of good things inside the ring from an offensive standpoint. He put consistent pressure against Colbert that I don't think Colbert was particularly ready for or expected that from him. He just stuck to him and just let the hands go in different shots. I don't think all of the shots that Garcia was throwing was to necessarily hurt Colbert, but it was to keep him busy as he set something up, just to wear him down. And you could see that it was working because Colbert started to get a little bit tired and his hands started to drop, and so did his output. And Garcia just continued to pour it on. That says a lot about Garcia's conditioning as well. So you know he's going to come in peak form and peak shape. And against Roger Gutierrez, it was much of the same thing. And he won that fight very comfortably. Garcia, to me, is the real deal, right? Like, this isn't a guy who just came in and just got lucky and won the fight. No, he is a very good boxer. It's not a fluke. As I said, he does a lot of good things inside of the ring. I love what he has to offer inside of the ring from an offensive standpoint. But what worries me is his defense. He keeps his hands down low at times, and sometimes he's so offensive that he leaves himself open to being hit, to being countered. Over-aggression can work against you, and when you fight a guy like Tank, all it takes is one shot, and it's over with. He's done it before, and we know he can do it again. So Garcia will have to tighten up on the defense, heavy in this fight. I think he has to respect Tank, but don't give him too much respect where he is the guy that's walking you down. You have to remember that you're the bigger fighter, that you can be just as imposing as Tank. You got to be weary of the power, but don't let the power make you fearful of taking a risk. Just got to be calculated with that risk. So who wins? Well, Tank is a big favorite. There's no secret about that. The safe bet is to go with the knockout for Tank. That's a pretty safe bet. 27 fights, 25 knockouts. It can't get no safer than that. It's hard not to think that it won't end that way. But at the same time, it's a fight, right? So even the favorite can lose. Garcia has upset some favorites in his recent fights. I also think Tank, coming into it from a mental standpoint, right? He's dealing with some personal matters, right? And that might have shifted his focus a little. Even the most focused person, their focus can shift when real life events happen. And he had some real life events happen that may have shifted his focus a little bit. So that could be in the back of his mind. That's in the back of my mind when I think about how a fighter is going into the ring. Are they all the way there? Or is little parts of them making them a little bit more emotional going into the fight, and they leave themselves a little bit open to getting hurt? Or they leave themselves a little bit open for their mind to wander? Or he comes into the fight, compartmentalizes everything that I just said, and he is back to fighting his usual self. And he looks like Tank that we've seen. Garcia is going to come in and bring everything that he's got. And he finishes strong, as I said. The second half of the fight, he finds a second wind. But can he start fast? Can he take advantage of Tank's slow start? Can he get his groove early and make this an uncomfortable fight for Tank? And can he hold that momentum for 12 rounds? I like Garcia, man. I do. I think he does a lot of good things. Man, he had a breakout year last year, upset some big favorites last year. But I just can't go against Tank. Bright lights, big moment, right? He has something to prove. There's a lot on this line. If he doesn't win this fight, I don't think that Ryan Garcia fight is going to happen, right? We want to see that Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Davis fight next, but Garcia has been known to upset some people's plans and their future a little bit. Can he do it again? I don't think so. I have Gervonta Davis winning this fight by knockout. I don't think it goes the full distance. I think Tank gets a stoppage somewhere after the 7th round, in my opinion. What are your thoughts on this fight? Who do you have winning this one? Let me know in the comment section below. If you would like to support the channel, there's a couple ways that you can do so. You can like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you would like to support by way of donation, you can find options in the description below. Also, my Cash App handle will be on screen as well. Any amount goes towards the growth of this channel and will be greatly, greatly appreciated. I think we're about 100 subscribers away from 2,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. If you know someone who enjoys boxing, definitely share this channel with them. It would be greatly appreciated. So with all that being said, if you've been watching this long, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, and we'll definitely see you next time.